What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at the Odd Shopper Golf Channel coming to you with another edition of Lindy's Best 9 Bets. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. Normally I'm smiling. I'm happy. I don't know how to feel about today. We're going to talk golf betting here because nothing else is going on in the PGA streets right now. BetMGM, you should check them out. We have a really great deal going with them. You can get 2 months of my premium Discord picks. You can sign up for that at the link below. I really have nothing else to add there. Again, it's a weird golf day for the people. But we have bets to talk. Normally, the leans likes locks. I throw that together for you. But here, at the Odd Shopper Golf Channel, the way that I bet golf is I try to have exposure to things that aren't necessarily always the outright market. Try to keep that bankroll sustained and going, especially when you can find some inefficiencies in the head-to-head market, in the three-ball market, or in this case, it's going to be also the make-miss-cut department. That's kind of been the primary feature we've had for the last couple months. But BetMGM, sign up for them below. Great stuff going on with them. Hey, your first bet as well. If it doesn't hit, you're going to get that money refunded back to you in bonus bets up to $1,000. So $100 if you bet it on an even money thing and it wins, hey, you're going to get $200 back. But if it loses, you're going to get that $100 you originally wagered back in bonus bets. Great deal with BetMGM. Only if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all. A pretty uneventful day here in the Gulf Street, so we might as well talk some betting, right? RBC Canadian Open coming your way. Let's get to the picks. We head to hole number 1, but before we really break down this matchup, I want to give you a little bit of backstory about this golf course that we're looking at. It's Oakdale Golf Course. Hey! First time we're going to be having the Canadian Open. It's going to be wild. Means 27 holes on property that we have to take a look at. Well, only 18 of them because 2 holes are converted to the driving range. So yeah, we're playing 18 of the 27 holes available here. And from what I can tell, should be a little bit of an iron fest, although the front 9 is pretty long, 3,800 yards here, par 72. As I look at everything here, just your typical deal where you got to make some putts and the greens are going to be playing pretty difficult, but that kind of also makes me like the ball striking department. I'm going to be very iron heavy, mainly because, well, if it's going to be difficult on the greens for everybody, it doesn't really matter if you're good or bad at putting. Yeah, it does. But I'm just going to be purely leaning on those irons as the thing that I think truly threads it throughout. Ball striking can be repeatable from course to course. If the greens are flat, it's going to kind of neutralize it for everybody. But in these kind of cases where it's playing difficult, you got to still put the ball in the right places on these green complexes. And yes, I went on to Google Earth. That's a very fun way to go through the architecture of a golf course and give yourself a little bit of an idea of what needs to happen. They've added some extra bunkers, some extra tee boxes, some interesting stuff there. And, well, it's going to be a par 5 now they're looking at for the 18th hole that they've kind of changed as well. But par 72, iron heavy, front 9 long, back 9 pretty gettable, I think, with the old irons, as long as you're making those putts. So going to be an interesting way to break it down. But we're going to start with my guy, Sam Burns, who just went out to the Memorial. He reminded some people that he's still pretty good at golf, even though I get made fun of routinely. Hey, I've got my W from him already for the year. I could bet him for half a unit the rest of the way, every single golf tournament, just blindly, and I'm up money on the year. That's just what Sam Burns does. He's going to overaccomplish from time to time, and I'm sure we're going to talk about him on the betting card. He's the shortest number I have. But on hole number 1, he's in a matchup with a guy who won an RBC event at a Hilton Head golf course that it's going to be very, very different in terms of grass and everything else. Still going to be pretty iron heavy, and so don't want to go say that it's going to be like completely besmirching the good name of Matt Fitzpatrick, because I like the golf game and I like the setup at these random venues that you've never seen before. He finished higher than Sam Burns at the Memorial, but I'm getting even money to take the shot. Plus 100 on Sam Burns, Matt Fitzpatrick minus 120 at our sponsor BetMGM. Seems like a good way to start things off here for me. Now, half unit, that's kind of what it is across the entire board. It's been working for us since we really started going to that system. It was right before the Masters at San Antonio. Hit the outright winner, swept the board in matchups. It was a beautiful time. It was a beautiful time. We're going to try to get back on that train after, well, I'd say first back-to-back disappointing weeks for me in terms of betting all season long here on the PGA Tour. So as long as it exists, the PGA Tour. Again, nothing else going on in golf today. Looking at Sam Burns to beat Matt Fitzpatrick matchups. Think they both play pretty well. I think Sam Burns just plays a little bit better. And to hole number 2, a guy who's kind of a staple of somebody that we pick on here. It's not Matt Kuchar. That's who we're going to be picking on. We're going to be going with Keith Mitchell, who is Mr. Ball Striking Extraordinaire when it comes to just about every single one of these numbers. And I like him at some random golf course that we've just never seen before, because he falls into that profile of dudes that amongst this field is going to be amazing off the tee. In fact, strokes gained last 50 rounds, first amongst this entire field. So get the ball in play. Looks like the rough is growing out. Should have probably focused on that a little bit here too, because I do have a lot of off the tee numbers that I'm going to be citing throughout this program, but he's sitting there at 35-1. Matt Kuchar at DraftKings Sportsbook is 40-1. And yet, I don't know. It just seems like a little bit of a strange number here for Kuchar coming off of a week where he didn't look so good at the Memorial, losing 7.5 shots with the approach. Gained 3.6 with the putter to kind of hide a little bit of everything, but 8.5 strokes gained lost tee to green. And now I get to take a tee to green specialist straight up against him at near standard juice. Oh, friends. Oh, friends. This is a pretty big slam. Now, I thought about a unit here for it, but I'm going to just stay tried and true. We're not trying to get carried away in these matchups. We're trying to simply sustain our bankroll as we go through lulls where you're inevitably not going to be hitting outright. So I think this is another great spot to have some investment. Let's go right to it. Matt Kuchar, we always pick on Matt Kuchar. Poor Matt Kuchar. Does have a third at the Valero, but guess what? Ain't going to be a third here. I know he's an RBC guy, so there is that. But he's going to continue losing with the approach like that. Oh boy, give me Keith Mitchell. To hole number 3, and we could probably speed this one up a little bit. Just talked about that folly of iron play. If you lose 7.5 strokes gained with the approach, and he lost 4.7 at the Wells Fargo, where he just gained a bazillion shots with the putter and short game as well, you're going to see him miss cuts. And when I'm getting 2-1 on this kind of a number to target him on a golf course that, one, nobody's ever seen. Well, maybe some of the Canadians have. But number 2, just a guy who truly depends upon that iron play to be competitive in these events. I think it's a pretty clear-cut shot. Now, there are going to be times that Matt Kuchar puts himself in contention and makes me feel like an absolute dunce cap. But that's okay when you're getting 2-1 on the inverse. And the number of times that he's gone out and burned people, 3 missed cuts now over the course of his last 8 events. There we go. So 3 out of his last 8. 2-1, it's a pretty good number. I know that that's kind of like your most basic component of math there that I'm throwing out there, but think this is a spot also where the field isn't nearly as strong as what it is in some of these other events, but I just wanted to double check that too. Yeah, the Honda missed the cut there. Just going to throw it out there, not the best of fields either. So there you are, my friends. Matt Kuchar, hole number 3, we keep picking on him. Half unit. Give me that unit, please. And one more miscut. Really, there's not a whole lot of value in the made cut section right now on DraftKings and FanDuel. They're still working on their numbers, but I can't wait long. I'm going to be waiting on a lot of things in the golf world here to change. Waiting for the numbers to show up on FanDuel they have the outright market out there, but some of these other markets, they're a little bit slow on the draw here this week, but such is life. We carry on. Let's look over at DraftKings Sportsbook once more, shall we? And there's a guy that I'm a little bit surprised is standing out at the top of my model as somebody that I want to be betting against. And this just has to do with the unfamiliarity of the golf course. And he fits that ball striking mold of a Keith Mitchell. So why, oh, why am I going to go out of my way to go pick on Cameron Young to miss this cut? He's lost 4.2 and 5.3 strokes gained with the putter the last 2. It's pretty much broken. In fact, the best event he's had the entire PGA Tour season is gaining 0.4 strokes with the putter. What? And the around the green game, it's kind of shied away a little bit too. That was kind of the thing that he recaptured over the course of that run last summer. This is about that time of the year where he started to really show out, but I'm a little bit worried about, I'm very much worried about the putter. I think that's just flat out a problem, but I think the around the green game is going to be spotty at times here as well. And as I go through that Memorial, strokes gained, he was just flat in terms of the approach and around the green, 0.6 and 0.9 respectively that he gained in those departments. But he's got to routinely be a guy who gains 4, 5, 6 shots with the off the tee and the approach game if he's going to be competitive in these spots. Again, around the green and putting, not going to be his calling card. So I think this is a pretty clear-cut spot where there's more value to be had, and it's a much higher number than you're looking at with Kuchar. Cameron Young to miss the cut, plus 330. Ooh, that's a big number, but I'm happy to be taking it here on the card. Nice way to maybe run up 1.5 units there and change. That is with Cameron Young on the RBC Canadian Open. Oh, hey, friends, I'm smiling. Look at me. I'm happy now. BetMGM, you can sign up for that in the video description box below. Get 2 months of the premium OddsShopper Discord access. That's myself, Ben Raza, Eitan Shander. So many great analysts, so little time here. The guys you know and love here on the OddsShopper Golf channel and the OddsShopper channel. Well, we got our betting cards every single week for you, readily available. And I know I pretty much give you my entire golf betting card here, that is for sure. But you still have access to me in the MLB and NBA streets. Yes, NBA Finals still going strong. Guaranteed at least a 5th game. Shout out producer Alicia. She's excited. Woo! Let's go, NBA. Keep it going forever, please. I'm going to miss you so much. It's going to be a long lull until NFL. But yes, get my premium Discord. Get my betting card every single Sunday through Friday down below when you sign up at BetMGM. And hey, you also get that first bet. If it doesn't hit, up to $1,000 you're going to get back in bonus bets. So if you bet 100 and it loses, you're going to get 100 back in bonus bets, so on and so forth, up to $1,000. It's only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Alrighty, y'all, let's get to the outright market, shall we? Hole number 5. I kind of want to save you time. I kind of don't, because I just want to talk about Sam Burns. Do I have a little bit of a problem? Probably. I can't quit you. I absolutely love Sam Burns. There's no way that I'm not going to be firing up my dude here. Love is love, friends, and I just love him. It is what it is. 4.3 strokes gained tee to green, 9.2 at the Charles Schwab tee to green. Those are some of the luscious numbers. And hey, the putter, it's like never really a problem. The most tees lost in a golf tournament this entire PGA Tour season is 0.8 with the putter. A little bit different than the Cameron Youngs of the world, even guys like Matt Kuchar. Sam Burns as consistent of a putter as possible. And then he gets these weeks like he's had the last couple, finishing 6th at the Schwab there at Colonial, 16th at the Memorial, which is a golf course that a lot of people, oh, he's not going to top 20. He top 20 for me, so eat on that one, my friends. Give me all of that you got in a bag of potato chips. Yes, do I completely hate that this number is just 14-1 here? Of course I do. But I'm pretty committed to betting him just about every single golf tournament that he appears, because there's going to be times he's going to miss cuts that he shouldn't. There's also going to be times that he wins golf tournaments that he probably shouldn't. So it all evens out in the end. Well, actually, no, it doesn't even out. We end up money in the end on Sam Burns, 14-1, by far, the shortest play on my card, because we are jumping outside of 60-1 for the other 4 plays coming up next. Hole number 6. Let's go. Who's excited for the pro debut of a Ludvig Aberg? I sure am, that's for sure. We're talking about the #1 amateur in the world making his debut up in Canada. Now, I guess it's not technically his pro debut. He played in the Monday, the longest day of golf, if you will, the 36-hole U.S. Open qualifier. Just finished, I believe those 2 short shots shy of getting into a playoff for a U.S. Open spot there. Him and Michael Block were playing within a group of each other, and yet 150 people walking with Michael Block, Mr. PGA Championship himself, and only like 40 people walking along with Aberg. And I would definitely be the one watching Aberg, who I just think has monumentally more golf game than that of Michael Block. Just get yourself ready. These #1 amateurs, whether it's Sahith Theegala, who we were absolutely in love with. I'm going to even throw Austin Eckroat, who was a player that was highly touted coming out of Oklahoma State. Victor Hovland, another Oklahoma State kid. They're pretty good at crafting the old golfers over there. But we're seeing routinely these #1 amateurs compete immediately on the PGA Tour. And I don't want to just say that it's something where Rose Zhang, who was an LPGA specialist, the #1 amateur in the women's ranks, wins the NCAA title, gets a sponsor's invite from Michelle Wie, and goes out and wins the LPGA event in her debut. Just saying, there's something in the water with these college kids nowadays. I'm not going to say that he's going to go out and get the W immediately here, but I will definitely have him in the top 10 market, and I'm definitely going to have a sprinkle here, my half unit, on him to win this golf tournament, because they're just ready to win golf tournaments now more than they ever were before. There is no learning curve. It's gone. Whether it's AJGAs that they start up when they're 11, 12 years old, up until now, where Aberg is coming out of Texas Tech as the #1 amateur in the world. And well, he has played like it. I believe back-to-back college player of the years, in addition to a very touted amateur resume. 66-1. I was very curious where the number landed, but I think I just want to take a sprinkle, wait and see kind of how it ends up transpiring at bigger field events if he can get himself there. But he has his PGA Tour card. That's one of the changes. Whoever finishes number one in those college ranks ends up getting the PGA Tour card right out of college. Love that change to the PGA Tour. Well, get your popcorn ready. He's going to be good. Ludvig Aberg, there you go, on the betting card, hole number 6. A very touted amateur to a very untouted professional, although he grew up down at, where was it? I believe it was with Mr. Sam Saunders. It was over at Bay Hill. We saw him compete at the Honda, and he's been on my buddy Jesse's betting card pretty much every single week. And, well, he's always in Discord talking crap to me, letting me know how stupid I am from time to time. And the fact that I haven't had Eric Cole on my betting card makes me feel actually pretty smart, because I've not found a golf course that I thought really suited him well. I think this one suits him really, really well. And the field strength is way down. We're seeing a number of 66-1 at BetMGM, our sponsor here. The current best number that I have available at a sportsbook. You can always go to OddsShopper to double check what the numbers are at your neck of the woods. But strokes gained approach, 6th. Strokes gained short game amongst this field in his last 50 rounds, 10th. Also ball striking wise, 27 strokes gained ball striking. He's very weak off the tee, but that has more to do with length than it does accuracy. And 100th amongst this field, strokes gained off the tee. If he can just keep himself in the short graphs, and hey, even if he doesn't, he's got an opportunity, I think, to really outkick his coverage when it comes to these players. And he falls into the mold almost identically to what I'm looking at in my next play as well. Not so much my last play, but hole number 8 for sure. There's some correlation between these two plays. But I find Eric Cole to be an immediately phenomenal, one of the best around the green and putting short game specialists on the PGA Tour. And we've seen a number of these guys have success. Now, there's Adam Hadwin, but he's got a shorter number than this. You've got a number of other players that have fit into this bucket over the last couple of years, some that have been defunct to live and now are coming back to the PGA Tour once they pay a fee. Again, I'm not bitter. Everything's fine today. I'm in a great mood. Eric Cole, though, 66-1. Fairly reminiscent of some short game specialists that I think are going to find some success here once they get back on the PGA Tour. Don't even want to go there. Whatever. Hole number 7 is Eric Cole. Yes, Mr. Bay Hill himself. I think this is the first week to pull the trigger. He's on the card. I said correlation, and correlation you shall have. I was the first player that entered my betting card other than Sam Burns, because he's like a de facto play. He's a de facto play at this point in time. But Maverick McNealy is sitting at a number of 80-1. Look at your screen. It says Maverick McNealy. It's over here. Let me see. Maverick McNealy. It says 80-1. Now, this dude has been fighting injuries since we saw him disappear into the abyss at his Pebble Beach. His family lives like near the golf course. He's a billionaire. Just throwing it out there. Pretty decent little life, I would say. Maverick McNealy, things are good. Things are good in his life. But also, we're talking about the highly touted amateur coming out of Stanford, broke Tiger Woods' scoring average record. Seems like a good number. Seems like a good feat to pull off there. But Maverick McNealy, historically, is the best putter on the PGA Tour. Like, we're talking over the course of the last 50 rounds amongst this field, even though he's gone miscut in 3 of his last 5 events, I still feel like he's going to be the guy to beat on the flat surface if he can get himself there. Now, the off the tee numbers have just been broken here of late, but you're getting to a very, very weak field. And I was kind of thinking that he might be in the 65-1 range. And to see him here at 80-1 at BetMGM, again, our sponsor has a lot of really good numbers across the golf outright market. I am willing to roll with a dude that, hey, maybe short game is the key to success here. It looks like the rough's going to be really long around the greens here. Some really tricky green complexes. Happy to have a little bit of correlation between him and Eric Cole. Again, Eric Cole hasn't broken through yet here either, and he's got a little bit of the shorter number, but I like this play even more. Maverick McNealy was the second play that I threw onto the card because I saw it and I needed it. I had to have it. 80-1, too long of a number for, I feel, one of the more talented players who's yet to really live up to expectations here on the PGA Tour thus far. And to hole number 9 we go to round it all out, my friends. A guy that's been on the betting card from time to time and is also coming off of 4 of his last 5 tournaments, missed cuts. But may I remind you, the Wells Fargo, the Memorial. When those are two of them amongst the entire run, and the Charles Schwab, you finished 12th, gaining 7.4 with the irons. Yeah, you're going to be a boom-bust option who meets the criteria in a weaker field event. Now, it's not super weak when you have Rory up top, you have Matt Fitzpatrick, you have Sam Burns, you have some stud golfers. There's no doubt about it, but I think there's definitely a case to be made for firing up Aaron Rai. Yeah, how you like your whiskey? I like it with Rai, and I like my golf bets with him too. Mainly, he came from the he's an Englishman, came from the Euro Tour, the DP World Tour, if you will, now at this point in time. And he's found some success here in recent months on the PGA Tour with the 19th at the Players, the 12th at the Charles Schwab. But this guy flat out was a winner when he was over in Europe. And when the field is eerily reminiscent of some of those Euro Tour events, maybe even some more elite Euro Tour events, I feel like these guys are going to be far more comfortable in these type of fields and can outperform their numbers than I would be betting them at 125 or 150 to 1 at something like Waste Management or somewhere where they just don't really feel like they make sense. Now, this golf course, as I was looking around at it too, kind of eerily similar of a BMW Championship over in England. A couple of those golf courses that are at some of the more prestigious tracks that they have going there in England. And I think that bodes well for an Aaron Rai here to just go out, find an opportunity to compete. And this really has to do more with the number. Finally reaching 100 to 1 in a weaker field event, not the weakest, not a Mexico Open, even though that still had Tony Finau and John Rahm in it. But there are less of these top tier type players to go out and beat. So why not sprinkle a little bit of them into the deep end of your betting card? I am short with Sam Burns at 14 to 1, but we went way longer with Aberg, with Cole, with McNealy, and now rounding it out, hole number 9, iron specialist Aaron Rai. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Best 9 Bets. I'm smiling now. I'm happy. Hit that like button, comment section below. Let me know your favorite bet for the Canadian Open here. Gonna be a wild breakdown, trying to get some correlation between some of my bets simply because we don't know how this golf course plays. But if I'm gonna be right, I want to be right by having some different sprinkles at the top of the board. I'm thinking about adding Adam Hadwin into the betting mix. I'm thinking about some of these other Canadians, whether it's an Adam Svensson, who, they're not looking forward to the US Open like some other players in the field might be, getting ready to rock at LA Country Club next week. Hey, I'm going to be on the turf at LA Country Club. Looking forward to that one. I'll be breaking it down, boots on the ground. Maybe I just do it live. F it, we'll do it live, friends. But check out BetMGM. That's going to be great. Going to be some awesome stuff for you guys over there, whether it's the premium betting card, whether it's the up to $1,000 in bonus bets back on your first wager if it doesn't win. Great stuff from them, only if you're 21 and over. And if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Until next time, the US Open coming up to you next. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck at the RBC Canadian Open this weekend.